Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I hope you have your hippogriff and your griffin or your Pegasus ready because we are going to take to the skies and do a very fast travelogue through the setting from Absolute Tabletop, A Deadman's Guide to Dragongrin. Welcome, guys. Again, hello, welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and this being Absolute Tabletop Tuesday, for this AbTab Tuesday, we're going to take a very quick trip around Dragongrin. This is a setting guide for a setting guide, a notation book, the last remnants of a dead man who was able to give us as much information as possible about a world in which evil has won. So we in the tabletop community, we love ourselves some post-apocalyptic settings. And if not the post-apocalypse, we love to combine that with a world in which evil has won. Yes, this is 5th edition compatible, but even 5th edition itself isn't compatible with itself if you really want to be technical. So definitely D20 system, modern D20 or F20 if you want to call it that as well, fantasy D20 systems. This will absolutely fit into that. We're going to take a look at the PDF, but this is the physical copy of it, Deadman's Guide to Dragongrin. Down in the doobly are links to it. There is a pay what you want, essentially free, but toss them a couple of bucks if you like, if you prefer. There is a starter pack. I think it's 75 pages PDF if you go look for it at their official site or drive-thru RPG. So A Deadman's Guide to Dragongrin, again, is a world in which evil has won. And in this world, okay, let's see if we can summarize this a little bit here. The dismembered lord did battle with the forces of good and law and justice in the realm of Dragongrin and defeated them all. And in this massive arcane war, which there are some vague details, but not a lot. And that's something that I really appreciate in setting books, that you can kind of carve, massage, shape the setting the way you want to highlight certain aspects and reduce some other aspects. And I really like that with setting books. And in this case, the dismembered lord, maybe a chronolich, a chronomancer, has defeated all the forces of good and law and justice, and in this massive battle has brought about ruin to every region. And right here we have a map of the realms of Dragongrin. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, we're going to page through the PDF and go through each of these regions. And what I like about it is each of these regions themselves has its own character, and you could really set a campaign in just one region, despite the fact we have a huge map here. It's fun because the map is not measured in like kilometers or miles or something. They're measured in, I think, dregs, and you can decide how big or small you want the map. You can kind of massage it, and I really appreciate that. It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? Yeah, and we're going to take a look at a lot of the artwork. The artwork is really amazing too. And one amazing thing that I'm surprised that Dungeons and Dragons hasn't picked up on. Now, follow me with this description because it's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, vote this evening. So follow me with this description. The dismembered lord, a chronolich, has dominated this world, and seemingly the chronolich the dismembered lord seems to know when and where and how things are going to happen, making it extremely difficult for the forces of good to defeat him. In order for the dismembered lord to completely dominate his world and every world, he must succeed in every other multiverse, which means that every player group that plays in Dragongrin is a splinter of the multiverse of time and space in which the dismembered lord must win. And if the dismembered lord can win in every single gaming session, the dismembered lord will never be deposed. But as long as there's some heroes somewhere that are able to fight against the evil tyranny, the dismembered lord cannot dominate. It's kind of cool. Yes. Yes, Polito, the system is not Deadman. It is Deadman's, not Deadman's. Yes, you are correct. Hold on. Let's make sure. Oops. Come on. There we go. I apologize. That's awesome. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Yeah, I keep forgetting the two words are separate. Yeah, I keep forgetting. That is so cool. All right, so yeah, Michael Lloyd. Yeah, I didn't make this. Oh, let's expand this up here a bit. Yeah, the Infinite Staircase was a slight attempt at a similar concept, but was never followed through with. Yeah, this one is kind of it's fun. It's fun. It is a concept that I think is kind of cool, and so we will. The book is the regions in here are alphabetical, so allow me to let's see. Let's make this a one pager, and I'm going to zoom in so that we can do the left hand side. I'm using a high res version of this map, so a little slow on my end here. So this is at the upper, we're going to go top left, west, northwest, and then we will start to go south, and then we'll go upper or northern east and go down. So here we have Talus up here. Talus was a tree, a world tree, a city that a whole community, village, tree, nation that lived in this tree. And if you look down below at Cutter's canopy, it belonged here. It was green and lush, and the elves and the druids and the fey creatures supported this place. But in the war known as Lightfall, during that war, that tree was ripped out of its roots and now floats above, and it's still there. Up here at the very top of the map is something known as the Bleak, and these are bleak storms. It's arcane chaos, and this part of the world bleeds over, and some say that it is a residual effect of the dismembered lord's constant need to pierce the multiverse to find to prevent every possible way of this failure, and exploring those ways and sending agents out there. And this is the bleed that's coming through, known as the Bleak. This is Aldane. It is a destroyed landscape as well. The page down here just a little bit. Down here to the left or to the west is Feygrave. Feygrave, of course, dealing with the fey creatures in a grave. This land used to be lush and full. It is now in perpetual autumn. You don't often see autumn in wilderness, and I really like that. Moving over, we have Svir, S-V-I-R. This is an impassable mountainous region, and it's kind of cool because there's actually it's sphere, and then there's a place below it. Imagine a dwarven Gotham City of Venice with canals and rivers underneath the mountain ranges, and there's also there are also mining. I want to say the only thing comes to mind is a monorail system, but think medieval that goes through, or think fantasy that goes through the mountain ranges and the mountain peaks and things of that nature. And then when we move down, we have Ennis. Does it? Oh, it's split over to the other side, and then Realm of Dragongrin. We're going to go over to the next page, to the east of this same map at the very top, and we have ourselves the Simmering Port. This is the southern portion of Aldane that's ravaged by the Bleak. We also have a frigid location, Asgol over to the northeast, and Varholm. We have the main city of Grin, that is where the royal families and houses vie for the sycophantic families vying and houses vying for the presence and the attention and the favor of the Dismembered Lord. The Dismembered Lord has completely dominated this region. It's one of the few places that actually doesn't have a like any ecological damage to it. As a matter of fact, it even has a perfectly temperate weather system that happens in this region. And you can see, of course, it's surrounded by walls upon walls that tower to prevent outsiders from coming in and taking down his reign. We have Aquianus, excuse me, used to be a fortified naval location and homes with lots of islands and things like that. It was sunk during the war. Jahar over here is not just a desert, but it's a desert of a metallic desert where there used to be great machines and gear monstrosities and devices and whatnot. And over in this location, it was blasted so bad that they have these storms of razor sharp metals and rust and things like that. And then we move down here into Zaman, and or Zaman is a overgrown jungle. It's one of the few places that hasn't been completely dominated by the Dismembered Lord, although sure, in his power and arrogance will soon be taken over. It is a place that is completely overgrown. We want to go back to a 2-page spread here. There we go. All right, now let's go on our travel journey here. Now, each location that is dominated by the Dismembered Lord is known as the Dominions of Ash, and each of those dominions is controlled by his lieutenants, people assigned in power to take over such a place. And we're going in the wrong direction here. And of course, you know, when you're a big badass dictator, you got to put people in place to overlook the people. I mean, overlook the nation. And so what I like about Dragongrin is that it's like evil has won. So how does the government work? And what's the economics like? And what do the people do? And whatnot. And this is very much like that. Each of these, this is the artwork for many of the individuals that have taken over those places, and in one way, shape, or form are the leaders nominally of each of those regions, and reports back to the Dismembered Lord. Now, in many ways, the Dismembered Lord is kind of busy, traveling through time and space, and not necessarily one to, you're like, hey. Just a system agnostic? Wow. Okay. I would say maybe not system agnostic. I would say probably system. Um, how much of the game mechanics are in this book? 10%? Maybe? Maybe 20%? Most of it is, I hate to use the word fluff, but most of it is, which is what I love about setting books, is that most of it is, because then that, like I said, if it's too related to the game system, sometimes it can be very difficult to separate the game from the material. And this is what I like. I'm going to show you anyway. By the way, we have the title, it's alphabetized. Each of the regions here talks about the regions, who's there, what's going on. And let me zoom in on something here. Come on. Maybe I shouldn't have used the high-res version of this. What I really appreciate about this and how it was written is you really only need to read the history, the then, the now, the beyond. After that are details about the people, the places, the things that are there. But if you really don't need to or want to or have to go further, you could just give the players this information. You could read it aloud to them, and an NPC could give them this information, or you yourself could go, yeah, I'm not really inspired, I've got my own idea, and just use this part of the history. Each one of these, this is Aquianus, and I mean, it's just very simple. It just gives you a title, gives you, a line here, gives you the history, and that's all you really need to do. And this was a Kickstarter, and during the development of the game, they were talking about the fact, like, they didn't really want to have too much in-depth detail. They wanted to enable this to be useful live at the table if somebody wanted to, or during prep. And to that end, they wanted to make it as simple as possible and then have the deepness of it travel later. So they even give you'll see mixed throughout are these like tables. This is a table for player connections, like how is a player connected to this place. You could throw that into a player can choose to roll on it. Then there's like primary locations, the powerful people of Aquianus. And then we have a zeroed in map. So each location has a zeroed in map. This is the proverbial dark Atlantis that was sunk, and we have plenty of locations here. Sorry about the ASMR click here. There we go. And locations like Even Keep, Matheson's Distillery, ruins of Ketterdal, the choke threads, the brine stilts, and again, you can look at the detail and read the paragraph or two about the location, or come up with your own. Gray spires, and apparently during Lightfall, this structure or whatever was a giant floating technological marvel that was taken out of the sky, landed into this island chain, and sunk a major portion of it, and causing a lot of harm and whatnot. So if you want some horror, Lovecraftian horror in this location, this is the place you want to be. And that's Aquianus, Domain of Ash. And like I said, lots of random tables to massage the place for what you want. Maybe there's certain types of gaming style that you're into, whether it's investigation or battle or war or I don't know, heists or whatever. It's in is definitely in here. And there's all kinds of growing threats, revulsions, things like that. They even go so far as to create random tables so that you are not stuck with their own specific history, but you can make your own. So, for example, we have revulsions in Aquianus, basically like Lovecraftian horrors and other things like that. And with a random table, you can just mix and match the names of things and what it is there that people might be going into this place to find. And so whether it's I don't know, you rolled a number 6 Sharvu, maybe you rolled a number 3 for you to collect on their last contract, right? Maybe this Sharvu person wants, or maybe there's Talgu desires a piece of your soul or something like that, and those can be different, like whether they're rumors or curses or NPCs, things like that, quests, bounties, consequences. I don't think you need a mutated shark with tentacles and limbs and the ability, seemingly, I guess, are there legs? Maybe, I don't know. I don't think we need that, but kind of cool. But we're gonna page down. So that's one location. Also, at the end of each of the regions, there are things known as a crux. Lots of random tables. You'll see that. Each crux is like an adventure. These are numbers of adventures. There's some. Did I go past that piece of art? I probably did. Yeah, parasites. Horrible. Sorry, I did. I attempted to have open windows of all the different regions, and I couldn't do that. It just the computer just shut down, so I had to no, can't do that anymore. I'll get to your comments here. Here's some splatterpunk artwork of going down in the deep reaches, caverns underneath the ocean or whatever. You can see water spilling in, and some adventurers finding some ancient artifact or something like that, with the threat that around you there's flooding and aquatic pieces and things like that. Scary, and I like it. Here's Faygrave. Let me get your comments here. Yeah, most campaign settings are more about the lore and many other information that has nothing to do with the rule set. It can be used for any rule set if you like. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Very easy to manipulate as well, especially with D20 systems. It's essentially 5% ish, and easy, medium, hard, difficult, whatever, and you could just easily translate if you'd like to. Faygrave in perpetual autumn, which I love, and this is Talus. The once lush wilds of Fayhold thrived in the shadow of Talus, the life tree. With Talus uprooted, the mystical forest dies, fading in perpetual autumn. Great, just simple, great information here. Then again, the histories, then, now, and beyond. Also, what I like about the way this was written is none of these locations are in stasis, meaning there's growing threats on the horizon, as if to let you know and give you permission to, basically destroy and overrun and change the whole landscape, if you like, both physically and arcanely and politically and things like that. So it's not like these places are stable. The Dismembered Lord did a lot of damage to this world and this continent, and this happens to be a side effect of that. Like, for example, in the history, the then is in the past, the now is what's happening. But in the beyond part, like, for example, it says Faygrave's magic wanes, but the remnants are more potent than ever in their death throes. The forest grows still, but its twisted roots are rotten, and if not restored to balance, the threats and creatures spilling from it will overrun the region and perhaps all of central Dragongrin. And that's cool. Like, it adds a little bit of a tension timer. And I love tension timers, right? Even this little piece of artwork here is a leaf surrounded by a halo of thorny vines, and then this leaf, definitely autumn, is fallen from a tree. There's a bit of rot and overgrowth, kind of like diseased overgrowth, and I like that. And it gives you a perfect excuse to use all of those fey creatures that might, back in the olden days, might have been goodly and kind, maybe, if a little mischievous, and make them a bit darker and whatnot. And come on, we can reskin a ton of our monsters, right? As plant, give them just a plant origin and be done with it. Definitely that. Lots of places you can play with in this location, and here is a zoomed in map. Again, at the very top of this map, Deep Hollow is where the old life tree used to be, Talus, that got ripped out of the ground and is floating out there. Yes, there's a map of Talus as well, and all of this spilling out, dying, and one paragraph details about many of these locations, so you can have fun with that. Ironfall Lake, Axborough Vale, Tenral Paths, the Shieldway, the Maw Fields, the Final Grove, Grasping Lake, Outposts Raven Rock, Ashford, Warded Clearing, all these places, Dream Chasm, all of these locations. And again, a ton of random tables so that you could place the spotlight where you want, as you want it. Lots of quests, growing threats, rumors. Those rumors don't have to be true, or they're plot hooks. Rupturing Fey Mist crossings to the left here, and Fey Mist crossing effects and dangers. So if you roll a d10, I'm going to do a number 5 straight across. So there's a river delta with subtle vibrations in the earth, mortals appear as translucent ghosts, and a pit of quicksand veiled by magic. And of course, the whole point of having random tables is you don't have to roll at all. You can just look through them very quickly and go, oh, I like this. I like to throw this at the players to make them feel they're in this region. And by them being random, what is it? Is it 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 different, with 10 to the 4th power? 10 to the 3rd power of number of choices, maybe? I don't know how to do the math. I am terrible at the maths. But you get the point, right? And crux, at the end of each of these portions, there's something known as a crux, and it's like an adventure guide. It's like a short adventure to bring you into the theme of that region, and that, depending on how the players survive it or are successful or not, that crux could have other effects that bleed out into other things and things. And again, at the very beginning of it, which I really love, it gives you the concept and the theme, and you could very quickly go, yeah, my players aren't really into like betrayal and survival and treason. Maybe they want something else. Right? So we're going to quickly page through. Sorry. But I did say we would be taking to wing, so, hey, if your griffin isn't well trained, that's your own fault. Ever-growing shadows. You'll notice that each location has its own color scheme. So if you look through the Dragongrin book, and I know it's real small in the thumbnail here, if you look through the Dragongrin book, you'll see that the outer edges have the same thematic edge, but are different colors, and so that you can very easily page through them. Yes, this creature does exist. It's like a dragon, but it is a mammal. Here we have Grin, and Grin is the main city. Fracturing imperfection and flawless guise. Both the name Grin relates to a lot of the stuff here. The leaf reminds me of rot and decay. I agree with you. Yeah. Definitely. Sorry about it. I'm trying to go back and forth. I guess I should have moved the comment aside so you guys can see what's going on. Dragongrin actually is supposed to stand for, the word grin is supposed to stand for grave, but also grin. You ever there's a movie, a horror movie called Smile, where there are people that have like a plastic smile on their face, but you can tell that they're suffering underneath it. A lot of times in Batman stories, there's Joker. Joker has this poison that makes people smile before they pass out or die or something like that. Grin is kind of that way. Everybody's all pleasant to each other, maybe kind of sort of smiling in each other's faces while they have daggers behind their backs, and they're all trying to curry favor with the Dismembered Lord and the Dismembered Lord's machinations. And yes, can you play as a house that's trying to be one of these council members and curry favor in this world of everyone making veiled threats at each other using civility and whatnot? Yes, absolutely. Do we want to make an allusion to Game of Thrones? Of course, and yes, that is the case. And there's a reason for Grin to be this way, because it's one of the safest places to live. So, yeah. And the distance is in drags. How long is a drag? I don't know. You tell me. But I love it. Dustmouth. Zoom in part of the map here. Trinius Port, Spire of the Maneuverer. Dustmouth, Creaking Tree, Spire of the Recondite, Fount of Viste, the Sovereign's Road, so on and so forth. Spire of the Curator, Veil of the Sovereign. The Sovereign is the official title of the Dismembered Lord. Sovereign's Arena. You can see inside of this person, that there's a person inside of this monstrosity. Bladed, I don't know, arcane machine maybe? Golem? Prisoner? Pretty nasty. Yeah, people living in Grin looking the other way when innocents are snatched from the streets. Welcome to the Dustmouth. There is a warning at the beginning of this book, and let's see, the book is, how many pages is it? 450, 460 plus, and 460 and change. And at the beginning, it does give a warning about the fact that, like, your traditional, like, lawful good, neutral good, this is a pretty nasty realm to live in. Here's a member of the Marrow Legion. In the movies, there's this concept of, like, when things get boring, have someone break into the room and start shooting, and there's always the Marrow Legion hanging everywhere because this is evil has won. So when playing in this game, there should always be the threat of the Marrow Legion coming around and bothering the player characters, right? They're always searching and scouting and bothering people, making arrests and torturing people and making all that stuff, confiscating things, and having skirmish battles and whatnot. And so the players are always like, the whole idea of doing like a 5-minute workday in this world is not a good thing. And again, random tables, conflicts, rising threats, notable locations, unfolding events with different things and people and whatnot. Plenty of NPCs. There are these creatures known as tome hearts, the ever-growing shadows of what may be happening with and listen, there's a lot of people in the background in this world who want to take the Sovereign's place, or want to find ancient artifacts, or all that kind of stuff. Looks a little bit Sith, doesn't it? It's kind of cool though. All right, we're going on to another region. We're going to go to Ennis, swamps of subjugation on the brink of war. And there's something kind of cool, a little bit of transhumanism, post-humanism in this. But once beautiful rolling hills, terraformed into swampy mires by the Mog Tarak orcs, reshaping the land using the bleak to forge a new empire. Essentially, this was a lush land, and hey, thanks orcs and goblinoids for your service to me as the sovereign, as dismembered lord. I'm going to give you this land. And even the name Mog Tarak kind of makes me sound like the Mog sounds like stepping in the mud, and the Tarak sounds like your foot like doing that suction when it pulls back out. But anyway, that's just me. And then of course we have the short histories, then, now, and beyond. Let's get to the map and some of the things that are here. Come on. Come on. Powerful people of Ennis. They kind of want their independence too. But I like the idea of the terraforming. It's kind of cool. They also want they wanted their land, and in this world they have it. Sphere above them with the mountain range. Here's a part of the Sovereign's Road that leads through this region to get to Grin. And to the northwest, there's the edge of Faygrave that we just went through before, and going down here into these into this place that used to be lush and now it's just melting away. Even the mountains and hills and things like that look like they're kind of like it's melted ice cream or something. Kind of cool. Different places. Dominion of Ash. Random tables for all kinds of things. Threats and rumors, shifting quagmires. Again, even with the quagmires, shifting the swamp conditions, the cause of the swamp conditions, the escalation, the retaliation, mixing and matching these little elements. And mind you, one of the best, really good random tables. Okay, a really good random table is basically, if you got rid of the numbers, are bullet points in describing what it is about this region, people, places, things, actions, ideals, horrors, or whatever, that really immerse you into the world. And then we, the people who purchase the damn thing and use it, get to use when and if and what we ever want to do. Whether we are stuck with coming up with a new idea or we are prepping our game. And so a random table shouldn't literally be random in the sense of things that have nothing to do with the theme. So a really good random table should explain to you, like, I'm going like, sludge drains feeding a river, or wildlife acting frenzied, or pit scum causing trees to come alive. And then you start adding other elements to it, like, okay, well, pit scum is causing trees to come alive. Maybe it's because of bleak storm that won't dissipate overhead, maybe, or eminence weapons test gone wrong. Base eminence is like magic. Or maybe it's a Titan relic defense mechanism activated by acidic monk. What the muck? So what the heck is that? Titan relic is like an old, from the olden days of the glory of this world. And maybe there is pit scum that's causing acid to go to a device or mechanism or whatever, things like that. So I like it. Bleh. Ooh. Bleh. Is that an ooze with some sharp weapons sticking out of its? Is that a face or something? Maybe. Hey, buddy, getting eaten on the inside of it. How are you doing? There's a crux. little adventures to pull you into this world. Let's move on, because I don't think I'll be able to get through all these. Splatterpunk, I love it. Also, good, a good explanation for why like the goblinoids have taken over humanocentric regions. You know, character connections, patronage ceremonies, secret alliances, notable fights, countdown to peril, gatherings and celebrations, beasts, ranger maybe, mounted ranger on a mutated bear, swamp bear maybe. The Till, massive and magical earth sign creatures known as Till or Tile, are native to the lands of Feygrave, said to have originated from the Fey-Mist themselves. These bears often share traits of other wild creatures. There are many types of Till: owlbear, tiger bear, wolf bear. These creatures are naturally lawful and good and are most welcoming of riders who are of the same ilk, though if trained properly, they will serve other masters. Ooh, nice. And I always wondered why there was only the owlbear. Like, why aren't there like spider bears and shark bears? Octobears? Raven bears? Falcon bears? What's something else? Eel bears? Scorpion bears? Here's a cool something. Let's move over to Jahar, shifting burning sands of steel. Get to your comments here. Sorry, I can't see your comments here. That's a pretty thick book. Yeah. Yeah. That giant black armor looks as if the human inside has not much day in the hood of the construct. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like. Yeah. I worked once on a plant monster that is a tree pretending to be a Fragon. Would work nicely for rotting forests. Giant black armor looks as if the human inside has not much. I don't think so. Almost as thick as DCC. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Dungeon Crawl Classics. Yeah. The Everything Bear, yep. Yep, Drew. Yeah, shark bears, a bear with sharks for fists. Well, would that be a bear shark or a shark bear? I don't know. Which one is the correct one? Oops. I keep forgetting. There we go. Jahar. Burning sands. And again, the sprawling metallic dooms of Jahar are ever-changing, unearthing ancient ruins and dragon tombs brimming with untold riches before burying them once more. That's all you really need to know. I appreciate that when, like, because if you think about it, it's like, okay, so here's the elevator pitch, right? Then you have, I'm on the elevator ride up, I've got their attention. Then we go into the history, then, now, and beyond. And then after that, if they're really interested, we can sit down and have, you know, a heated crumb cake and some chai. And then you go into some of the details. And I really appreciate that, to let me know up front. Like, if I'm paging through this, I'm like, I don't really feel like reading all this. Do I have to read through all of this to get the point? No, I can go to the front page, go, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And then move on from there. And are some of these elements very familiar? Deserts, swamps, mountains, plains, cities, of course, because we need something to hold on to, and then the rest of it is just it's kind of cool. And here's a close-up of the map. I kind of like the map. Listen, I understand this isn't true to size, but I appreciate the fact that the map isn't true to size, because this map would be pretty small if this was true to size, or some of these places would be very big. But I like it because even with the map, I'm a very visual person, and the map gives me an idea. Like down here in the, let's move down just a little bit, bottom left to the east on this map, you see like a skeleton monster or something. And if I'm looking like, well, wait a minute, there are towns and buildings. Is it that big? That's kind of cool. What if a whole community lives under the rib cage of this damn thing? And I wouldn't have known that unless I read it or I saw it. And I'm going like, yeah. The shifting sands, the first grin, Skyrock, Pillars of Ta'ak, Vanishing Spring, The Buried Road, yeah, Onyx Ziggurat, Nargal, Crimson Oasis, The Broken Ocean, Valley of Sultans. And again, this is a broken world, so it may have once been someplace or somewhere like the Broken Ocean. There's even if you look at the picture of the blue ziggurat in the Broken Ocean, there's a sailing ship. What the hell was there? And it would be kind of cool to are there some people that were able to get the sailing ships up and running, and you can use the winds and sail across the sands or something? Or was there sunken treasure here that now that you can walk on the bottom of what used to be a big giant lake or ocean or whatever? Is there? I mean, I don't know. There's a Crimson Oasis. Who lives there? Who's protecting it? One of the few safe places probably in this world. Again, random table, sudden perils, peripheral locations, monster, the Rukar, also known as Sandsteel Scorpions. Yeah, gotta have yourself some scorpions in the desert. Growing threats, treasure hunting, dune shifts, arcane mirage, quests and bounties. Yeah, gotta have your riding piece. And crux, short adventures at the end of each of these. The give you some background as well with the development of this with the guys that created it. Matt Click, James and Tim Kearney, and Barker created this, and during the successful Kickstarter, they had a choice to make, and sometimes success breeds just as many troubles as failures, and they had a lot of material that was written, and they said, okay, do we delay the release of the Kickstarter to put as much material in it as they wanted to, or release it knowing that they felt like they held things back? They decided to delay it. That upset some people. Kickstarters, when they're supposed to come out and Kickstarter. Yes, Dune, yes, I get it. Yes, we get it, but come on. Come on. We love that shit, right? I like that. But anyway, they delayed it, so you got the biggest, baddest, most information in here as possible, but it did set some people off, and this is a lot to chew on. So I was like, you know what? They gave me an opportunity to have the reach and support that I've had, so I said I want to give back, and so I thought we revisit this. And a lot of times we get Kickstarters, people don't go back and visit them anymore. Anyway, yes, I'm paging through the different cruxes, locations, all that kind of stuff. Even the cruxes themselves have their own random tables in it, so that you can massage the adventures the way you'd like them. Actually, the way they've done this, they've used this before in something known as adventure kits, and the adventure kits have randomized tables, so you could either use them over and over again, or shape them to the style and play style of the people you're playing with. And again, very emblematic of nasty. Is this their version of what a beholder would look like? Maybe, but kind of nasty. I like it. We're going to Sphere and Sphere Below, and then we'll probably end it there. Impassable Haunted Mountains. I love this splatterpunk art. When I was younger, I hated it, but now that I get older, I appreciate artwork like this because it's vague enough for me to put myself and my imagination in it, and yet being thematic enough for me to understand what the place is like. So. Impassable Haunted Mountains, like I said before. Formidable Crags, teem with undead horrors, echoes of necrotic magic weaponized by the dismembered lord. There's lots of that hanging around, like the remnants of battle. And then we have the history, then, now, and beyond. And even in this beyond, if not culled, the undead population will overrun Sphere, and the desolation and its monstrosities will swallow the region entirely. it is a bit of a problem. It's a thorn in the dismembered lord's or the sovereign's power, and so there are troops sent into this mountainous region. There's the people, the places, character connections to this place. The character connections to the place are used because many players won't know what A Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin is even about. So it's a way to like very quickly go, well, here's why you have a relation to this place. And then there's Uldane up to the north, and then these are the mountains and the peaks. And you can see there's like there are these, I'm calling it monorail, but that's not really what it's like, unless you really want it to be that way. There's even a broken section here between the Rotting Peaks and Ironfell Station. Yeah, players, you might want to take off the brake and travel as fast as possible to leap across that. In the old classic pulp action movies and things. Kind of cool. And then here is a side view, and you can see there's a side view of the mountain peaks. There's peripheral locations, sudden perils, getting to sphere. These breakout boxes give you some information. It's basically like written in a manner of speaking directly to the game master and players. And getting the sphere below, we're going to get the sphere, and I know I'm butchering the pronunciation, although all words are made up, so whatever. Growing threats, monster hunting in sphere, atrocities, and again, mixing and matching these together. If you just read through the atrocities, they are all very thematic of this place. Corpses drained of blood, livestock shredded to bits, impaled bodies displayed on the road, victims found mauled, haphazardly buried bodies, victims disappearing in the caves, ritual killings, beheaded victims with no pattern, victims sapped of life, made husks. All of that very thematic. But if we go with 5 straight across, we have haphazardly buried bodies, and then we have victims connected by blood or background. And then what kind of monster is part of this? A spectral panther. And weakness, Pernum grease. Don't even know what Pernum grease is. But yeah, random weaknesses. I love monsters that have random, not random, unique abilities and weaknesses and things of that nature. I love all that kind of stuff. Rot crows. After decades of exposure to the desolation, feasting on the flesh of twisted undead creatures, these carrion birds assume a new twisted form. Now monstrous and carnivorous in their appetites, murders of these rot crows circle the skies of sphere, attacking without prejudice. Some say Vekas can see through their eyes. Vekas, I believe, is the one of the I forgot their names. The people that control the region. They have a title. Players could actually try to become leaders of these regions in service to the dismembered lord if they wanted to. I don't know why they would want to do that, but it's pretty dark, but whatever. Battling the undead. There we go. For some reason, I'm picturing there's a big giant sword in the skull of a mechanized titan. The titans were like these giant machine-like beings that were mechanized or mechano-organic beings. And we're going to get to Sphere Below, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, there you go, crab spider, whatever. Come on, come on. Oh. Look at that artwork. Oof, oof. Right in the kisser. Oh, Splatterpunk? Yeah. Sorry about the description. I didn't talk about that. Yeah, it's like it's a muddied, sometimes charcoal, sometimes watercolor style painting. Uh, it is often used. It is often used. Oh, a Fagon, a tree pretending to be a dragon. um, it is often used in landscaping art, where he shows in the background. It's so bad. It's a good piece of artwork. All right. We'll get the sphere below. We haven't gone to a number of these other locations, but ever-growing shadows. This is actually kind of cool. This image here reminds me of what I always thought an Eder cap would look like and seem like, but kind of cool. All right, sphere below, and then I'll let you guys go. Throughout the book, you'll see artwork like this of variations of the Marrow Legion, like bone marrow, and they are dressed in this like bone white armor plates that are pretty much stained and battered, and they are they are the foot soldiers. And many of the foot soldiers are, I mean, there's different variations of them as well in this book, and just happens to be one version of it. Sphere below. I love this. This is what I was saying, dwarven, mix Venice, Italy with the canals and the waterways and the bridges, with a dwarven underground hold and Gotham City crime, and this is what Sphere Below is like. And I like that combination of all of that together. Crime-ridden subterranean canal cities. Love it. Labyrinthine canals and half-submerged structures house underground trade and rampant crime upon ancient relics. Is this happening under the nose of the sovereign? Probably. Does the sovereign, the dismembered lord know about this place? Who knows? Powerful people of Sphere Below. Customs and traditions. I didn't focus on a lot of these, but some of these breakout boxes are like hints and features that you might want to focus on for your players to get involved in it. Like, for example, here it says customs and traditions of Sphere Below. Corvus is the tradition of a little something extra, small tokens of appreciation during a transaction or exchange as a gesture offering a little more than what was expected. And Corvus often, the ravens and crows, and it's like that little extra. It's like bringing a little gift or a piece of information or clothing or something personal, and I like that. It's said that washing your hands in the gullus rids them of unseen blood. Prolific criminals often make pilgrimages to wash away their sins and atone for guilty deeds. And the smell of spicy meat permeates the air of Sphere Below. Charred fangirl. No matter what district you find yourself in, eating this rat-like creature is considered good luck. And I like that. It brings culture, scent, something that you see, behavior, language. I like that. Character connections, of course, to this place. Code of Below. I like these. We're family. Respect the name, and bloodshed is expensive. Crime lords. And for some reason, I'm just picturing like the havens of the crime lords, not only being, because it's underground, you can use 3 dimensions. So the players may need to find guides or commandeer a boat to travel through this place. You can also have places that are above these lakes and above the players' heads. And I'm imagining like windows in stalactites. Stalactites are above, stalagmites are below. But yeah, something like that. But here's a zoom in picture of a map of sphere below. The infinite lock, the goalless ocean. Murda. M-I-R-D-A. Shields of Ribbons. The Rivas district. All these different districts. The Six Daggers. You gotta have Gang War, the Six Daggers. that's just asking. You name a place Six Daggers. I'm sure that the name came about later. But yeah, you name a place Six Daggers. It's like, yeah. Larian District. Slaughterhouse District. Bellum's Flotilla. Natchton. Banshee Pass. Nit's Oasis. Tunnels of Amun. Amun. Sphere below. And then all the details. Random lists, details, people, places, things. Monsters. Kind of a bat lizard thing. Probably glides around. Who knows? Growing threats, quests and bounties, of course, if you're going to be criminals. Lesser gangs. Gang wars of sphere below. Again, not literally spelling it out, but there's some random gang names. D10 table. Identifying marks. You can mix and match these. Recent activities from pickpocketing and murder down to grave robbing and slave rescue or trade. Protection rackets, and then leads. Maybe a witness saw something of note. Tracks leading away from the crime. Framed convict who knows the true culprit. A mysterious unsigned note, or maybe a particular property involved in a crime is left at the scene, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. And then there's the crux, the adventures. So, guys, thank you very much for letting me take you on a journey through the landscape of Dragongrin. There's far more to this. I didn't go through any of the character options or spells or magic items or monster stats or the actual stats of the dismembered lord himself. I didn't go through any of that part. Yes, you can play this where the players literally confront the Chrono Lich, the dismembered lord, the sovereign himself, but you know, it sounds good, but then you're like, okay, great, we defeated him, and the game's done. Right? You may not want to do that. But if it's coming to the end of your adventure, it's kind of cool. But yeah. And there's so many other places. Let me get to the next one, and I'll leave it there and some artwork up here as well. And then we'll get out of here. I don't know why I like little floaty bits and pieces and baubles off of arcane monstrosities and things like that, but I do. Talus the Life Tree. Again, there's the splatterpunk artwork kind of background with the cities in the tree. And let me go to the map of it because it's about 2 pages in here. Oh, here's the actual leaf that's alive. Showed you the one that was diseased, but there's a leaf that's alive. And sorry. I wish there was a better way. Twisted. Oh my god! I should have never gone to negative hit points. Anyway, and then we'll get there. It is. Here's the map of the tree. Molder Nest. Actually, so we can try to get most of it in here. Can I get most of it in here? There we go. And we're just going to go back to your comments and we'll get out of here. All right. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys letting me show this off to you. Again, A Deadman's Guide to Dragongrin. There is a 75-ish page starter guide that's pay what you want. You could get it for free, but toss them a couple of bucks if you like it. That starter guide is absolutely for player options when it comes to how your classic classes are in this world, such as like clerics and druids, because the Dismembered Lord not got rid of, but there really isn't religion, but there is in the peripheries, because there are some people still believe. Same thing goes for the Elementalist. There's a bit of that as well that is kind of remaining. Being a hero in this world is pretty dangerous, so you're going to have players that have to do some pretty dark things, very, very noir, very eating away at your soul kind of a world. And there are guidelines for infamy, as well as other features about players essentially getting scars on their soul. And I really appreciate that. So guys, thank you very much for allowing me to show off just a little bit of A Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. Even with the title, the random tables, those things that you can mix and match, what I like about it is, even from the title, the entire book is canon, and yet none of it is. Imagine this book, this treatise, being written by someone who died, who tried to collect as much information as possible to give to you, the game master, the dungeon master, storyteller, flame tender, the player, in this world, and you can make it your own. And simply by virtue of the canon of the Dismembered Lord, every single time, every game that's played is another multiverse through the timelines, a branching. And are there differences? Could there be differences? Of course. Those differences are going to be with your game and your game alone. And as long as there's heroes, as long as there's a little bit of hope, maybe evil hasn't completely dominated. But I really appreciate this. So guys, the book is a relic from another reality. Hell yeah. It came through time and space and was dropped off smoking, smoldering in a meteorite or something like that. It was like, you blow the dust and the steam off of it. Bam. What the hell? So yeah, lots of good stuff. Yeah, I didn't want to page through the book because my cameras, hopefully I'm going to get I want to save up to get a really good camera and camera system. But yeah, color-coded pages that you've already seen me flip through some of this. I love it so much. Very easy to thumb through to get to what you want. Yeah, kind of cool. Let's go back here. This is the Bestiary. And somehow in perfect condition. Yeah, somehow. Funny how ancient tomes and such always end up that way. But yeah, there we go. Come on, Cam. When I'm on OnlyFans, the camera works perfect. Maybe I should get you guys to sign up. $5.99 a month. You just look for the comedy section and get to my OF page. No, I joke. But in seriousness, yeah, really cool. I was able to follow the progression of this. So yeah, is there a little bit of an investment, a psychological investment on my part? Yes, as well as being a member of the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, which I believe is also listed down below. And I hope you guys got a kick out of this. Maybe you were inspired for something for yourself, or want to check that out, or even check out what Absolute Tabletop has to offer. So I'm not going to hold you guys. First, I'm going to ask you to do just a tiny little bit. I'm going to ask you very quietly if you could do something for me. Yeah, if you came here this long, sure, do the thing. It's free. Guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday is like Wednesday Project Day. I am currently involved as a consultant for Cool Name Goes Here, tabletop role-playing game is going to be given away for free, and we will be talking about that. That's what Wednesdays are for, and maybe some other stuff that I'm working on. I am working on a science fiction world setting known as Obsidian Star, and I'm still coming to terms with the mechanics of it. I'm trying to make it a very rules light system, so science fiction already has a difficult time making it in a tabletop role-playing community. Don't want to make it too difficult, but I think I have my asset die roll system down, and character creation system. So anyway, guys, have a great one. A couple of last comments and then we'll get out of here. Hey man, yeah, happy Monday's revenge. I'll see you guys. Peace and tranquility. Bye.